Welcome to Craft with Kathie. I have something to show you that I absolutely love tonight, and I'm going to try and explain where I'm coming from, hence my little title for tonight's live, Extravagant, Smart, or Serendipity. You tell me what you think. I have to tell you about this, something that happened to me a long time ago. Excuse me. But it has a little bit of a precursor to this. Excuse me. I had posted something for this online vendor event that I'm involved in right now, and I just want to kind of share it with you a little bit and then get on to telling you the story. I posted something asking about how crafty are you. You're shopping at a home goods store and something catches your eye. The price tag is absolutely outrageous, so you quickly walk away. Do you A, return to take another look and try and justify the purchase? B, return for another peek to see if you can make it yourself? C, say what the heck, I deserve it, and whip out a credit card? Or D, leave the store slightly saddened, thinking to yourself, someday? There really is no right or wrong answer to that. Much depends on the stage of life that you're in, your financial situation, and your frame of mind. And I've basically done all four at different times in my life. I've gone back, taken another look, and decided I didn't like the item as much as when I first spotted it. Or when I purchased my first home, and Christmas came around, there wasn't a lot of money for decorations. I bought the tree on sale, which was great, but there wasn't any money left over really for ornaments. So I said, I either don't put the tree up or I make them myself. And actually it was kind of weird because I had more people compliment me on that tree than any tree that I've ever done in my life. So I don't know quite what that means, but I guess it was a success, right? Or, on the flip side, this is what I'm going to tell you about the extravagant thing. I once purchased a rather expensive cocktail table. It was outrageously priced. It did come to me as a result of a dream, and whatever. But I've also left a store empty-handed, kind of feeling depressed and thinking, someday. Well, sometimes we just need to be creative and figure out ways around things, like I did with making my homemade ornaments. But to tell you my story about the cocktail table, here's it, and then I'm going to get into what I love so much and why. I had a cousin, well, my mom and my aunt always used to call me extravagant. I had a cousin who described my home when she first saw my home as the decor style as being contemporary romantic, which I thought was interesting. I like things that are a little bit off sometimes or a little bit unexpected. So my living room was pink and my dining room was a different shade of pink. Not a gaudy pink, not a hot pink, subtle, almost like mauve shades. And it was actually pretty. And then I had these white gauzy draperies and with blinds behind them, so, gave some privacy there. But where they might have been more suited for a bedroom, they worked with the living room and the dining room. So I bought this sofa that was an L-shaped sofa, and it had different colors in it. It had a deep green and an off-white and a pink that kind of matched the walls, and it went really well. It fit perfectly in the area, but I didn't know what to do for the cocktail table. And people were actually asking me, Kathie, you need a table. What kind of table are you going to get? And I was like, I don't know. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night one night and I said, I need a pink triangular table with rounded corners. Rounded corners because I didn't want anybody bumping and getting hurt from the sharp edges of a triangle, right? And my cousin who had been pestering me called that morning and I told her. And she's laughing because she's like, where are you going to find that? Well, a couple days later, I had a doctor's appointment, and as I'm driving home from the doctor's appointment, this idea popped into my head. There was a company that always advertised in parade section of the Sunday paper. And their furniture was rather impressive, to say the least. So I knew it was close to where I was, but I didn't know exactly where it was, and I didn't have a cell phone. It was pre-cell phone time, right? And I just kind of decided to head for the main street of the town. And as I'm driving down the street, wouldn't you know, I spot the store right there. I parked the car, walked in. I was greeted as soon as I walked in the door, high-end store, you know. And it was actually, I was greeted by the owner's mother. And I blurted out, she asked how she could help me, and I blurted out what I was looking for. And for a moment, there was a slight hesitation, and she said, "Follow me." Down the escalator we went, and there is the table of my dreams in a white marble. And she whips out this little thing of samples and said, just flipping through them, "How's this pink?" Perfect. So I got it. So it was rather extravagant, but it fit the situation. It fit the room. It went perfectly with everything. And this thing weighed over 400 pounds. It wasn't going anywhere, and it lasted. It definitely wore well. So extravagant, sometimes. Smart, I hope so. Serendipity, I think so. I think sometimes things just fall into place and work out perfectly, like they did with the pink marble triangular coffee table. And oh, to add one more level to it, the top of the table swiveled. So if you swiveled it around, the table could turn into a square. Or you could swivel it back and you just had 2 layers of this pink triangular rounded corner coffee table. Whatever. So my point is, I try and look for things that can do double duty. That's maybe they're sometimes extravagant, maybe they're not, but I like to get a lot of bang for my buck, which brings me to this frame, and it's called Outside the Box Frame. We have this available now in our, I think this is 5x5. We've got a 6x18, a 9x12, different sizes. But what makes it so cool and why I absolutely love it is the inside comes out, which means I could chalk on this nice flat surface or watercolor or whatever I want to do without having to worry about the actual frame while I'm doing the design. And one side is whitewashed white, the other side is wood grain. And real easy to just pop it into the frame. And it's double-sided, so I could have one image on one side, one on another. But if that isn't enough, let me tell you something else. Let me show you something else. Here it is in a 6x18. Whoops. Same concept, whitewashed on one side, wood grain on the other, so I could have 2 different images and flip them as the seasons or the occasion changes. But let's take it and kick it up one more notch, because that's exactly what chalk did. I could buy more inserts if I want. If I do chalk a design on here that I absolutely love, let's say I make something for Christmas, and well, it's on the wood, so I'm not going to erase it. Well, I got ahead of myself. Let me back up. They kicked it up one more notch. You could also buy an insert that is our Couture Boutique surface, which it's white chalkboard on one side, black chalkboard on the other. Which means if I want a black background, I don't have to paint it. I could just use the chalkboard, or the same with the white. But the coolest thing about the Couture Boutique surfaces is they are reusable. They're like a chalkboard. Chalk on it, do your design. Now you could do it outside of the box, obviously, so you don't have to worry about the framework. If you tire of it, spritz it with water and erase it and reuse it over and over and over again. And you could buy multiples of these. So you actually could have one actual frame, 2, 3, or half a dozen inserts. Isn't that cool? Save space on storage. These are erasable, so if you make an oops, easy enough to fix. And you have the choice between the Couture Boutique surface that's erasable and the whitewashed, whoops, and the wood frame. How cool is that? So, I think this is one of these things that fall into that category of being smart. A smart, easy decision. Save space, save money, make it easier to design and do your chalking. That's it for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to actually be using some of the out-of-the-box frames for some coffee bar designs. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.